The idea was India was mired in feudal backwardness. Colonial officials came, they found these practices, they were barbaric, they were horrified, and then they intervened. But in intervening, they were a bit anxious because they felt that religion was so central to this society that if you started to interfere in religion, you could have a revolt. And ultimately, they were there for the purposes of economic extraction and political dominance. So they did not want to jeopardize the colonial project itself. And of course, in order to understand the social basis, you have to understand that the British introduced private property. In context of the widows in Bengal, this is where most of the satis took place. The right of the widow to the property of her husband at his death assumes a new significance once you introduce the concept of private property. And that was the context in which you saw a kind of upsurge in sati. So what did they do? They came, they said, okay, is sati religious or is it not? When one looked at how knowledge about sati was produced, one found that colonial officials were ironically insisting on its religious nature, whereas the Brahmin Pandits were constantly also pointing to its material basis. There was a range of interpretations, in short, right? And the insistence that it was religious and the insistence that one should not interfere in religion led to the ironic fact that sati was first legalized. So you find colonial officials defining the very details of the practice, and they said they used to send a district magistrate to make sure it was undertaken properly in accordance with the Shastras. Now, the British always claimed that they cared about tradition and they cared about women. But if you started to read the materials, what you began to realize was that women were not the subject of this discourse. Even though they went and interviewed women at the funeral pyre and said, are you going willingly? Are you not going willingly? They took a detailed observation of, is her body twitching on the pyre? Is she trying to get out, trying to locate her agency and trying to locate coercion? It was appalling, really. But women were not subjects. They became the ground of discourse on tradition. So that the sati debate was really not about women, it was about tradition, with Orthodox Hindu men, with social reformers like Ram Mohan Roy, colonial officials, and missionaries fighting over the bodies of these burning women about what constitutes authentic tradition.